Hello, hello, hello. This is a prog review, even though it's a review of a documentary. I saw this documentary about this band, and it was a bit of an odd documentary, really. I thought, and this band had been, I think it was meant to be celebrating their 50th anniversary or something. Though I didn't really learn much about the history of the band. It was very strange documentary. Again, one must define what the aim of the documentary is. Its title was, this band at 50. Now it could mean that they're looking at the history of the band for over 50 years, or like a mosquito trapped in amber, it's just a moment frozen in time. 50. The 50th year, maybe it's that. Maybe that was the aim of the documentary. I wasn't really sure. What the aim of this documentary was. But yeah, this time it was about this band. And this band had many members, long history. Kind of came to prominence in 1969. Their first album was very well received, and subsequent members had kind of fell away, leaving one person very rich for it. Like it was winner takes all kind of thing, and like the power broker in the band. That's it. But yeah, a very strange documentary. Again, I wasn't really sure what the aim of it was. If it was designed to get people interested in this band, then to the layperson, I don't think they would have felt any compulsion to investigate further. They would have probably recoiled in horror and said, why would I want to be a fan or have any interest in this band? It looks terrible. This isn't a healthy environment. That's one way of looking at it. One of the band members described it as like having a low-level virus. You feel kind of okay, but better when you leave, which was interesting. Another person in the band said that like after recording sessions, they noticed that they'd lost their hair. It's not very a ringing endorsement for said band. Very. Again, what was the aim of the documentary? Was it meant to present them all as, I don't know, slaves to this one person? To this, I wouldn't call it an artistic vision, because I don't think this person who runs this band is an artist. I think he is vampiric in his creation of music, and that he relies on those around him. As one band member said, he requires many midwives to be present at the birth of whatever project he's involved in. I wouldn't necessarily say that person is an artist, whereas all but a handful of ex-members have gone on and established themselves again successfully, in other projects outside of this band, whereas that person has always had to, rely on the name and the reputation of the band to have any cachet or any recognition in the world of music. And if they do get recognised on, I don't know, a particularly well-loved song by another artist, well, they claim that they don't get recognition enough. So it's a very strange individual. Again, one wonders if it's just a show, just presenting himself as an eccentric egomaniac, or maybe that really is that person. It's a very curious documentary, very, very curious. Again, if you come to it as a complete layperson, you're not going to learn about the real history of the band. You're not going to know where the music came from, the impetus, the inspiration, what makes, the band truly tick. You're not going to get that. You're just going to look at it and go, You're certainly not going to get any insight to the discography of the band, how they went from one iteration to another, the recruitment process. You're not going to learn about that. You'll see a few peppered clips. There'll be vast tracts of the band's history that is largely ignored. So what is the aim of the documentary? The interesting thing about it is, even though it was originally meant to be released in the anniversary year, the actual original version of the film never was released. As I said, I actually said this will never come out. It will never come out. And so this new version, this other version, was released under a different name 3 years later. Like I said, it will either never come out, or it will come out really late. And I was right on both counts. It's good being right. I'm always right, except for when I'm wrong. So yeah, I think, again, part of it, you watch it and you think, is this pantomime? Is this real? Is this just a game? Though probably one of the best analyses of this band and the fans and the music was from one guy who described it as a cult. This is a cult. This is about arcana and workings that we don't necessarily understand. It's about discipline and numerology and once you get it, you get it. And I thought that was probably the most insightful comment of the entire documentary. And that came from just a fan being doorstepped outside of a gig, which I thought was interesting. The other interesting thing is that one of the newer members of the band, when he was it 13, I think, named his dog after the leader of this band, which kind of makes you wonder what he felt when he married the original drummer's daughter in this band. Was he marrying her because he loved her, or because he was one step closer to the band, or maybe he felt like he was actually porking the band? The missus came. I'd never come up with such theories. It was the missus, I swear, God help me. But yeah, this documentary was up for rental on US iTunes. So I think I only paid about £4 to watch it, which is, I think, the smallest sum of money I would ever give this band out of my own pocket. But it was out of curiosity. I did it so that me and the missus could have a laugh, and we did. We laughed, we chuckled, we guffawed. There's one sad strand in it. One of the members is diagnosed with a terminal illness, and we follow his progress, and it's very. That was probably the most interesting part of the documentary, and I think that's the coat on which to hang the whole enterprise, I think. But other than that, you come away with it just thinking, what did I just watch? What was the intention of this documentary? It certainly wasn't flattering. It certainly wasn't inspiring. Like I said, it certainly didn't want me to go and put on those records. And a lot of the footage, a lot of the interview footage, you kind of guess that many of the members, ex-members and current members, were probably interviewed, and a lot of what they said was discarded for long, rambling screeds of gibberish, anti-intellectual gibberish that's poured from the lead player's mouth like verbal diarrhea, meaning nothing. Oh, the sound and the fury. Again, luckily I'm an Englishman, so I can see through all this nonsense, where the Americans, they just fucking fall in love with an English accent. And if you have a fruity English accent, they just think you're smarter than you actually are. It's got me this far. So yeah, I just sat there at the end and thought, what was the aim of this documentary? You see, the problem is many of you will know my history with said institution, I'll call it that. And you probably think, oh yeah, he's biased. No, of course I'm biased, because, I'm me. But, I went there to be entertained. Was I entertained? No. Was I informed? No. Was I enlightened? Certainly not. And for, 90 minutes? It was far too long. And you've got to remember, this is a band with a history that stretches half a century, has had innumerable band members. Many of those have gone off and had much more interesting careers, been involved in much bigger projects. And instead we just, watch mainly an old man moan about being very rich on being the last man standing. Bizarre. So yeah, is it the definitive documentary about this band? No, because it's the only documentary on its band, and I very much doubt anyone else would ever go near it. Oh, maybe, I don't know, maybe they can get Bob Carruthers to knock one out. But yeah, it was it was something. And yeah, it made me giggle, because there is one line in it from one ex-member which is something I've said. Well, and even the missus have said it. We've said it together, and it was good to hear it from the horse's mouth. And that was probably the only thing that was good about it. That, and like I said, the one of the newer members naming his dog after the lead guitarist in this band, which made me chuckle and made me think, blimey. So that's my review. I've probably gone on far too long, and it's rather quiet because I've done this late of a night, because I thought I'd just take my time, reflect on it, and kind of have a measured response to this documentary. Again, it's not even because even the structure of it was annoying. It just it fails on every level, even structurally, because you think they could have aimed for the big homecoming gig, and that would have been the finishing line, and that would have been a nice point to underline the documentary. But it just kind of fizzles out with everybody moaning and complaining. Even the roadies was miserable. But yeah, do I recommend it? If you've got 90 minutes to kill, maybe you're on a plane, you know, you're on a flight and you're having trouble, I don't know, getting off to sleep. It could be good for that. But if you want to learn anything about this band, then no. If you want to learn anything about these artists, no. If you want to learn about their motivations, their inspirations, you know, what the songs are about, you know, why things happen, you know, maybe, you know, how the sleeves came about, you're not going to get anything. You're not going to get anything. Not like that, because it's not that kind of documentary. And it's not even, like I said, a travelogue where it documents a tour. It's not even that. It's it's fragmented. It's incredibly fragmented and disjointed, and yeah, and it fails. But there you go. But it exists, and I'm sure you may have seen it, and you may disagree, and that's fine. That's fine. You may agree. It doesn't matter really, does it? Does any of it matter? Does me making this video matter? No, it doesn't. Does that documentary matter? No. Does the music, that band, matter? No. None of it matters. But hopefully I've entertained you for the last... Cool. If I can time this, it'll be really cool. For the last... come on, keep it going. Last... Come on, you can do this. We'll do it to a round number. If I've entertained you for the last 18 minutes, then I've succeeded. Thank you for watching. That was my review of this film about this band at 50. And here we are. Check it out if you can, but don't buy it. Try to rent it for the cheapest price possible, because you ain't going to learn anything. And that was that. Thank you for watching. My name's been Darren Locke. There's only one more thing left to say, and by now you should know that is, and that is Prog on.